Hello, and welcome to the Those Dweebs podcast, where we have a little bit of everything for everyone. Let's roll the d20 of fate and see what we are talking about today. Hello and welcome to this week's episode, and we are going to be doing something a little different. We're going to be reading from Does a Bear Shit in the Woods by Caroline Taggart? Yeah. And this is Answers to Rhetorical Questions. So, for a little background, I work at a library, and so I always end up going through the books, and I came across this book, and the title just caught my eye, and I started laughing, honestly, but I could not pass it up, and so I figured, why not go through, answer some of those, questions people ask, and have a little fun with it, So, let's get into it. Gotta turn on my light so I can see a little better. Don't get old, kids. Your eyesight goes to shit first. So, the introduction. Just in case you were wondering, a rhetorical question is a question that doesn't expect or require an answer, used for dramatic effect. Fowler's modern English usage elaborates by saying, the assumption is that only one answer is possible and that if the hearer is impelled to make it mentally himself, it will impress him more than the speaker's statement. In other words, it's more effective to shrug your shoulders and ask, is the Pope Catholic? Forcing your hearer to think, yes, of course he is. That's simply to say, the Pope is Catholic, which your hearer almost certainly knows already. Rhetorical questions are all around us. From the Bible, can the leopard change its spots, to the popular song, who will buy this wonderful morning? A handful of them are deep and meaningful. What does a woman want? Many more are anxious. Will you still love me tomorrow? Or frivolous? Has your mother sold her mangle? What they have in common is that someone... Got to turn the page. The joys of reading actual books. Somewhere has thought them worth asking, and by definition, been without a satisfactory response. Words are hard. Does a bear shit in the woods attempts to deal with this problem in a sensible, no-nonsense way. After all, when it comes to the crunch, do you really want someone to compare you to a summer's day? How many beans do you think make 5? Does your brother need a keeper? The result is not the answer to the question of life, the universe, and everything, which is 42, by the way. That's not in the book, but just throwing that out there. It's a potpourri of quotations from Shakespeare and the Marx Brothers, advertisements for burgers and slogans for political campaigns, lines from action films and titles of love songs, something for everyone, you might say. Or, to put it another way, what's not to like? So, that's just with the introduction. Now, I found the perfect one to start this off, and that's just mostly because I'm a bit of a smartass for those who know me in real life. Now I just gotta find it in all, the little ones I tagged. Now the other question is, how many people still actually use rhetorical questions? Because I feel like I use them quite a bit. But the very first one we're going to use is, Where do I begin? Try page 1. I saw that one. I'm like, okay, I have to. But that's just the smartass in me. So, yeah. Now we will get into some of the ones that I tagged that I found really funny, or just, I wasn't expecting the answer that it was. And the first actual one I'm going to do is, can you hear me, Major Tom? Sadly, no. According to the 1969 David Bowie song Space Oddity, something has gone badly wrong with Major Tom's spaceship, and he will not be hearing anything ever again, particularly as even the loudest unamplified sound, such as a bomb going off, can rarely be heard over a distance more than 300 kilometers, 200 miles, and usually a good deal less. Nowhere near far enough to reach eardrums drifting through space. The fact that Major Tom had really made the grade may have been some consolation, if he had heard it. I love David Bowie. I had to with that one. Now, the next one, and I don't even know if this one's going to be, like, a one I come back to. It was just one of those books I'm like, okay, I have to at least, like, jump into this a little bit, because, sometimes you want those answers to those burning rhetorical questions. Now, do I feel lucky? Only you can answer this question. So do you feel lucky? Or as Clint Eastwood would put it, well, do ya, punk? The punk in question didn't. He was moral in counting the numbers of rounds someone has fired at you. It pays to be accurate. Where's the fire? Early fires were pretty random, relying as they did on lightning strikes, volcanoes, maybe the odd superheated meteorite, that sort of thing. Once man got the hang of friction, though, useful in many ways, he never looked back. Today, your fire can be anywhere, provided you have equipped yourself with the means of ignition. Ignition, matches, fire arrows, flamethrower. The fire arrows threw me off there. And some inflammable material. Clue: gasoline-soaked straw. Good steel reinforced concrete. Less good water. Forget it. Otherwise, replying in your eyes, you gorgeous beast, when asked the question by a police patrolman who has pulled you over for speeding, may not be the best idea you had all day. I shouldn't be laughing, but also that's really funny. I'm sure someone's probably used that too. That's what probably makes it even more hilarious. Alright. Am I my brother's keeper? First of all, do you have a brother? If not, you might as well turn the page and read about something else. If you do, does he actually need keeping, or would you be better advised to let him get on with his life? Legally, you could conceivably become your brother's guardian, if not keeper, should he not be yet at the age of majority when he loses his parents, or should he be physically or mentally unfit to look after himself. More improbably, you may also become your brother's keeper should he be the manager of a soccer or hockey team and decide to put you in goal. Nonetheless, this is not a recommended retort when God asks where your brother is, especially if, like Cain, you've done away with him. Ah, yes. Now, Yes, the sound effects are very much necessary. You're welcome. And I am sorry for this ahead of time, because it's going to be a lot of numbers, but I found this very fascinating. How long has this been going on? A multiple choice answer to allow for different interpretations of this. A, if this is the universe approximately 13.7 billion years. B, if this, planet Earth approximately 4.5 billion years. C, if this, the earliest form of life on Earth approximately 3.8 billion years. D, if this, human life on Earth approximately 2.5 million years. E, if this, the human race as we know it, Homo sapiens sapiens, about 195,000 years. And F, if this, something more personal, then that is absolutely none of your business, especially if you happen to be an official from the government. But I'll let you in on a secret. It's less than 195,000 years. I don't know if any of those numbers are 100% accurate. Don't come for me. I am just reading from this book that is making me giggle. Okay? Alright, I found another one. It took me a second. How cool is that? A question usually expecting the answer, very cool, very, very cool indeed, which might be about as cool as saying driving around with the Fonz and a 57 Caddy, looking up at the stars from a beach in Rio, or watching a dog skateboarding. Those who can't get enough of cool should be sure to make time to make a visit to Antarctica, where the average annual temperature reached a record low of negative 89 degrees Celsius, which is a negative 129 degrees Fahrenheit in 1983. No, thank you. That sounds absolutely atrocious. I will pass on that. Ugh. It gets cold here in Michigan. Not that cold, but it's not fun sometimes. And we ask the fun question, why do we live where the air hurts our face? To which most people reply, because there's no hurricanes. Which is fair. But also, I'm not a winter person, if you can't tell. And lastly, the last one we're going to end off on today is, do bears shit in the woods? Because we can't have a book, does a bear shit in the woods, without answering the question. Do bears shit in the woods? It depends on the bear. The habitat of one of the best known species does not usually include forested or woodland areas. Although polar bears may make their dens on land, and under certain conditions will move into relatively ice-free areas where there may be a few trees, generally they have no option but to defecate on ice or snow and water or on barren tundra, since there are no woods in their neck of the woods. You're welcome for that. I don't normally do puns, but for this I will do puns. But I hope you enjoyed that. I've definitely read through quite a bit of this, and there's so many ones I'm like, I did not expect that answer, but yeah, if you can find it, I would highly suggest checking it out for yourself. If you want, go to your local library and check it out, because sometimes that's better. And then, yeah. As always, guys, you can find the podcast on Podbean, Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Listen Notes, Podchaser, Boomplay, Podcast Addict, and Deezer. We are still working on getting it everywhere, and that has been a slow process, but it's been a process nonetheless. And I'm doing my best to try and get these all scheduled out. So, yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next adventure. Alright, bye guys.